to the FPC Durant podcast. I'm Garrett.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Cole, and today we are recapping the past several episodes we've done, our Friends and Family series, and it's just us three today, and we're going to kind of just talk about some things that we've been talking about in the previous episodes. But before we do that, we want to mention that as we're entering the spring here and we're nearing the end of our second season of this podcast, before we take a break for the summer, we are going to be doing a Q&A again, but it will not be a live event this time. We're just taking submissions of questions to answer during our season ending episode recording. And so you can find the link to submit your questions for us to answer on the podcast in the episode descriptions and also in the show description for this podcast wherever you listen or watch your podcast. And so please submit questions, anything that you have in mind, anything you want us to talk about or one of our pastoral staff guys to answer, we can get those answers for you. And so please just start submitting between now and May. You can submit those questions. And so do that, and we look forward to that. And we are going to now take this straight into some fun first takes questions.
Fun first take questions. All right, we're going to just, as we consider wrapping up this Friends and Family series, I want to know, what is your most family or friend moment of this week? It can be a highlight, it can be a low light. But when you think about a friend or family moment this week, what do you got?
So mine's happens to be pretty easy this week. I took my toddler golfing with me for the first time.
That's a moment. Toddler, he said.
Yeah, and I didn't know what to expect. I knew it was going to be an experience. I didn't know if it was going to be good or bad or both, but it went really well.
Yeah.
He had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. He was good. He did what I told him for the most part. He loved riding the golf cart.
Heck yeah.
He wanted to get out and run around, and he could have plenty of space to do that. And when it was when I hit my ball and it was time to go find it, he wanted to go find it.
Yeah.
And
is he technically a toddler? What age did they become not a toddler?
I'm not sure. 2
Anyways,
to 4-ish?
It's giving like grown man at this point.
We have toddler moments, I feel like.
Yeah, he's going to be 4 in July, which is crazy.
Whoa.
But anyways, yeah, he's still toddler-ish.
It's time to golf, son.
He wanted to go to golfing again the next day because he loved it so much. But that was the day that there was like 45 mile per hour winds.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
And it was the Dust Bowl, so he did not get to do that.
All 9, huh? That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I took him for 9 holes. I didn't know if he
could
could last for 18 or not. Maybe as long as it's not miserably hot outside or anything, he might could go for 18. But yeah, it was fun. The weather was nice.
That's cool.
And he's fired up, wanting to do it again. So maybe I'll have more golfing in my future.
Let's go golfing. Did he ever swing a golf club?
I have a little plastic club that I took him out with to use, but I need to. I figured out while I was out there, I need to actually get him like a real little kid club.
And so he figured out he needed to do that, and then he ordered him a set.
And so I've ordered a set.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, a set. I've ordered 3 clubs for him.
Well, it went so well. Why not?
I know. It is pretty cute. The little mini golf sets are so
cool.
cute.
You have one?
Yeah, I'll do a friend moment from this week. Since Cole did a family moment, we can't all do family moments. But we had Corey, in Corey's stead, I'll just talk about him. We had Corey and Jube over to our house on Sunday to watch the Oscars, and we just had a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Heath is obsessed with Jube. He loves her. He actually was asking the next morning where they were whenever he woke up because they were there when he went to sleep. Yes, immediately. We just watched the Oscars. I watch the Oscars every year, and so does Corey. We've been talking about it. We've talked about it on the pod before about watching it together. So we did.
That's where it started.
We
That's
all
cool.
watched the Oscars together. Highs and lows of the Oscars, but it was good.
Maybe an annual thing. That'll be cool. Tony will want to jump in on that.
Oh, yeah. All welcome. Anyone who watches the Oscars, because I feel like it's the Fair and the Few.
Yeah.
Like, not that many people actually do that, but Oscar watch party at our house. If you're hearing this, you're invited.
You're in. Let's go. Party would probably be way more entertaining than just watching alone. So, yeah, get in there. Corey's not with us, but breaking news. He will be back soon.
He'll be back soon.
Let's go.
Yes, the return of Corey.
Yeah, the return of Corey. I love that. My family moment was a week last week. I think I'm still recovering. I'm kind of tired right now, actually. But I went with Lawson to Camp Goddard, and those that have been immediately relate to that sentence and that moment. But it was a week of, I told someone it's just like, you basically sign up to be a 12, 13-year-old boy again, but be in charge at the same time. It is a wild ride. I am now very well versed on like 12-year-old lingo.
The lingo, yeah.
Oh man, it's all in there. And so it's a little dizzying, but we had a blast. It's fun being outside. Nobody asked for their phone. Nobody was interested in a tablet. Talked about video games a little bit, but overall, they were enjoying being surrounded by nature, hanging out with each other, trying new things. It was really cool, really exciting. So it was fun to be with Lawson in that environment, to see him around his friends. That's always so interesting to see your kids in places they're like really comfortable, but you're not there.
Not an atmosphere you're usually in.
It was so cool. Saw like a different side almost of his personality. So it was really enjoyable and tiring, but we made it. Mama, we made it. All right, so yeah, we're wrapping up the Family and Friends series, and we're just kind of taking the time to reflect and think back on the interviews we had. We even remembered a few that we'd forgot about even, but everything from, and y'all can help me, friendship, where my wife Tawny was here with us, and then singleness and dating with Will and Alyssa, Calvin Palmer talking about parenting with those 12 kiddos they have, Calvin and Monica, God bless them, and then Gary and Heather. Had a really good time with them last week. But anything stick out or that you felt like was impactful to you?
Well, on the Gary and Heather episode, real quick, just for fun, did anybody learn anything about Gary and Heather that you did
Absolutely.
not know about that? I had that thought too. I was like, dude, Gary and Heather are sharing stuff I didn't even think I knew.
Dude, the Baptist scandal.
Oh yeah, I had not heard the story. I'll tell you that.
Back and forth of dating and ministry and
Man,
calling on the payphone.
Yes, Falls Creek.
He used to call me on my payphone.
I'm glad we had them share their story on that mic.
That was so cool. Yeah,
That was fun.
I'm glad to have that recorded.
Yeah, that was good.
Well, also very insightful. But
For
yeah,
sure.
anything stick out in any of these?
Well, you mentioned insightful. What we talked about at the end of Gary and Heather's recording about their throw pillow.
Yeah.
Choose thy love and love thy choice. That is something that always kind of stuck out to me because I've heard Gary preach several weddings, and he says them at every wedding, and that's always a big point of his message during the weddings that he does. And so, but it's kind of an awesome thing to think about, and just to choose love for your spouse and in life in general, and to love your choice with your spouse is, I think, a really neat thing.
Yeah, that's real good. I think, whether you're a Christian or not, we all go through all of these seasons, whether it is friendship, singleness, dating of some sort, marriage or a significant other, parenting even. Like, those are not necessarily Christian things, but we do see and we heard from everyone about a design God has laid out for all of them that makes sense, and when applied, and our guests were so humble to say, like, when they were doing it wrong or didn't feel like they were being obedient to God or whatever. But when you do, it's just such a blessing. There's so much blessing in return for just obeying God, trusting Him with the design He set out, and trusting the Word and trusting His guidance, that it's fruitful. And it's not just fruitful for just your friendship or maybe your marriage, but like your marriage can be an example of the gospel to others, or people can learn much about who God is through the way you treat each other, whether that is friendship or marriage or whatever that looks like. But I thought that was really interesting, and that made a lot of sense to me. I mean, I know those things, but to hear people talk about their personal stories and their life, and to see that fleshed out with 12 kids in parenting, where Calvin's like, humbly saying, like, maybe I didn't get it here or there, but we kept fighting. We kept looking to the Lord for help, even when it's hard. And it's so encouraging. I mean, like, if you can do it with 12, I gotta be able to. I can do 3.
I know, dude. For real.
So I thought that was really cool. Inspiring to me.
Yeah, I was real appreciative that Calvin was willing to record with us and share the things they did, for sure.
I think for me, several things stuck out. I mean, like, I think these all were really fun episodes to do because they're really, like, insightful.
Yeah.
But I have thought several times about Calvin's episode because I'm just, like, knee deep in the parenting stage. Knee deep, more like neck deep. in the parenting
Feel
stage
that.
right now. And I say that I only have 2 kids. I mean, like you said, he had 12 kids. I'm like, I'm just going to listen to see what they have to say because they love the Lord and they did that thing, you know?
Yeah.
So one of the things though that I have thought about several times was him talking about like, you know, like their kids went to public school, but like he was saying, like, do what you feel the Lord has called your family to, whether that's public school, private school, homeschool, just like a different array of things. And we talked a little bit about like the mom shame of it all and the mom guilt that you feel as a mother, whether it could be for any reason.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a working mom, so it's that, you know, but if I wasn't working, it would be something else. It would be, there's just a lot of like, culture around that. We talked a little bit about that, but I like that he was saying like, it does vary. Like the call in your life does vary depending on person. And I'm never saying to go against what the scripture says. I'm just saying like, it does look different for us all. And I think that it's a beautiful thing because that means that believers are in different places doing different things. And I just thought that was really encouraging because, you know, sometimes like regardless of how you're doing it, you're like, man, could I be doing it better? Am I doing enough? Am I doing this? Am I doing that? Should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? Which I think like at the end of the day, if you care enough to even be thinking those things, it's a good start.
Yeah.
But I don't always remember that even for myself. I'll be like down on myself. So I thought his episode was obviously very helpful. And he also talked about practical ways that he did that in his home, like the prayer at night. Like I thought that was all really
That's so
good.
cool.
I liked some of the practical stuff he shared. And then honestly, just overall in all the episodes, thinking about how the Lord has used like each stage in my life.
Yep.
And like thinking about how the Lord is still using like other people who are in the parenting stage to bless my life, people who are in the singleness stage to bless my life, people who are all doing different things or in different stages of life. And, you know, we're talking about stages of life. Like not necessarily everyone's going to progress through every stage of this in life. You could be single your whole life. We don't like, you know, people don't know what they're called to, but the Lord's using you where you're at. And I can see where the Lord is using people who are single in my life, married people, friends, parents. Like it's just really cool to see like what the Lord's doing in everyone's life around me and in my community and how he's like gifted us all differently and is like working it all together. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of what I've gotten out of the whole series is just like how it's all working together to function for his glory.
Yep. Yeah, there's a design for all those, but yeah, you're right. You're on your own path and you have your own gifts and you have people with their unique gifts to come alongside you. And it's not just, I don't know.
Yeah, because like, I mean, now I'm just riffing, so y'all stop me. But I was thinking about like singleness and how, I mean, y'all have been married longer. Our anniversary is coming up. Like we've almost been married for 9 years. So I haven't been single in quite some time. But like I was just thinking about how well my single friends love me. I have several very close single girlfriends, and they are just like such a blessing to me. And during times where like it's been hard for me to get out of the house because I'm rocking a baby until 8:30 or I have to be there when I was breastfeeding. Like I have to be there if the baby wakes up. I can't be gone. So like my friends are like coming to me and like coming to hang out at 8:30 because that's the only time I have. And they're coming to, you know, or like just loving on my kids because they don't have their own kids. So they're like just so willing to come in and like, I don't know, just like love on my kids. And it feels like the gospel, like being lived out in just a different way. And I mean, that, you know, y'all all know there's several stories like that I have with friends of mine who are further along in the parenting. We talked about that some in our friendship episode, but like, it's so helpful and encouraging to see someone else who's already gone through a stage and it's encouraging. And also like you have someone to like live life with who's doing those same things as you. So I feel like at the end of the day, all this is like very community centric. I feel like the takeaway from every single one that we've done is like be in community, be living life with other people because it makes following the Lord easier.
Yeah.
And it makes going through hard things easier. And just in general, like I said, it's been very encouraging to me. I've really enjoyed this. It was good for my heart and
it was good.
Boosted me up a little bit.
It was refreshing because it left room for imperfection.
Exactly.
And the need for the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, you know, something you said earlier, and I couldn't even tell you exactly, but I thought immediately of, like, social media.
Mm.
And then there's, like, global social media. It's like every influencer is a self-help guru about all of these things.
Oh, yeah.
Marriage, friendship, singleness, like all of it, parenting. And we get wrapped up, like, to where you almost start to believe it. Like, because it's coming up in your algorithm so often, you're like, oh, yeah, maybe I should parent like that, or maybe I should do this or that. And then there's a more finite group that are like groups on Facebook or whatever that are giving you all these things that you should be doing that are more localized. And then there's that pressure and stress. But then we've sat down with these people that are acknowledging, like, this is what the Lord did in my life specifically.
Right.
And this is how he's blessed me, and where I've fallen short, he's continued to bless because I trusted him and never gave up the faith on him being there for me. It was just really refreshing.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, Calvin was talking about that. You said a little bit, but like how, like, yeah, they've not always gotten it perfect. He said that several times.
Yeah.
But like they kept, you know, just
well,
being
yeah, when you
obedient to the
got
Lord.
kids, you're in that thing all day long, like, to expect that you're going to be nailing it with all the stressors and things going up and down all the time. Like, you're going to have to learn to say you're sorry. And I think that's something he mentioned that I think is very impactful to a child, even. For you to humbly show yourself as an imperfect human and be like, hey, dude, I'm sorry I did this. I shouldn't have flipped out like that. I apologize. I've got to grow in that. Dad's not where I need to be. I need the Lord to continue to.
I think that's really like we might have talked about this a little bit. I think that's kind of a new thing. Not new, but like a little bit. Like, I don't really, I mean, did we talk about this? Did anyone's parents ever really apologize whenever they were?
I think there was I don't know. I could see. And
I'm not saying it's on them and they're negative, but just culturally, I don't really feel like it was like a big.
No, the authority, very much so felt like they needed to have everything in order,
right,
and look like.
Like, I know what's best.
Example.
Everything I say is correct.
Yeah, and generations on generations, I'm sure there's influence there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, even in coaching or teachers or whatever, that it felt like they felt this pressure to be perfect and not mess up.
Yeah.
So that they would set the appropriate example. But in parenting, you're gonna expose yourself. And
yep, I feel like saying sorry is just like such a in any of these areas. It's like such a crucial like skill, and it is humbling.
Yeah, admitting your realness. Yeah, but then it gives you the opportunity to honor God and His perfection where we're imperfect. So,
yeah.
Imagine that, humans trying to do things on our own. That's what we end up with.
Mm-hmm.
I think that honoring God, too, like you just mentioned, is kind of the theme with all these episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like we want to address these things in a way that honors God.
Yep,
and that's kind of the purpose there. And so we have scripture to look at for this, and we have just all the things we talked about.
Yeah,
on these episodes.
Yeah, and so Cole and I, it wasn't, I don't know, a couple weeks ago that we were checking in. We're like, as far as the podcast goes, are we doing what we said we were going to do? And, we tried to center it through encourage, equip, and engage our church members and try to be an encouragement in that way. But these are also things coming from our church members last year from the Q&A, like things that they we're hoping we could look at and discuss. And so, anybody listening, you guys were responsible for that stuff. So we appreciate it because, I don't know, sometimes I feel like sitting here talking to people like we do, I feel like I'm being blessed. It's something I really enjoy that I get the encouragement from. So I guess thank you for engaging and sending questions.
Yeah, and that's why we need
and ideas.
people to keep submitting stuff to us. So,
yes.
I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but whenever you fill out the form to submit questions to us for the Q&A episodes at the end of the season, there's also a section for you to make suggestions and just put feedback for us if you want to fill out that section. You don't have to, but we're real appreciative of that. If you want to just say some stuff to us or give us ideas for episodes or anything like that, you were able to in that form.
Yeah, and we did not. There's even more topics that have got brought up from last year that we're going to continue to look at. For example, spiritual disciplines. Probably next season, looking more into that and try to get some input from some friends. I'll just say I don't know how that's going to look, but things like prayer, Bible study, apologetics. We'll be looking into those things.
For sure.
Maybe next season.
For sure.
But yeah, so continue to engage with us. We really appreciate it.
You can
Will and Alyssa's episode took me down memory lane. Back down to dating, which I'm forgetful of a lot of stuff in that period of time in my life, but I remember some stuff.
Cole remembers nothing. He literally remembers. He doesn't remember what he had for dinner yesterday. I'm just kidding, but seriously, Cole does not remember dating almost at all.
Yeah, well, life speeds up.
It's good that we got Will and Alyssa while it was fresh in their life, in case.
They're excited. You could feel like
and they told great stuff, and it was real. I mean, I feel like it's relatable.
Man,
for anybody that's out there trying to date,
I do remember thinking, if I'm a college student, knowing that I have access to those two, like the things they were encouraging me with, and I'm not even in that stage of life.
Oh yeah,
I'm just like, what a wellspring of knowledge and encouragement that are coming straight out of it at the moment.
It's such a tough thing. I remember thinking this, like, it's a crazy thing to be like, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, whatever, and you're single, or any age, basically, and you're single, but then you've got this big thing ahead of you, and that is, who am I going to marry in life? Have I met them? Have I not?
Yeah. Phew, what a relief this.
You have to walk around and just live your life with this big thing you don't know.
Yeah.
And
what did you think was going to happen, Cole? How did it end up for you? I'm just kidding. Seriously, though, it is looming.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
you don't know what the Lord's going to do.
Yeah. So we feel you, college students. We've been there.
We feel you.
We know you're.
And if you're listening to this and you haven't listened to Will and Alyssa's episode, you need to get on that.
Go back. Any of them, that is a great encouragement for this episode. Go back. Good stuff. I was blessed by it. They were blessed by it. Make sure you're checking in on those things.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, so thanks for listening in. If you haven't listened to any of these families, friends episodes, go back, check them out. We think they're really insightful and they were a blessing to us. You guys are a blessing to us. Continue to engage with us, send in questions, some feedback, ideas. We'll continue to do what we can to serve you. Now go and make disciples of all nations.